Good morning. Welcome to welcome to Friday's Hot Toddy and Bugs and a Lip Gloss. And I'm also doing this for two different platforms. So it's a recording that will be going on my Facebook women's group at Whiskey University, and I will start posting them on Bugs and a Lip Gloss, which is my rebrand on YouTube. So long story short, I'll fill you in on what's been going on. I've done a total rebrand. On March 10th, I made a life decision to pack my Harley and hit the road. The details right now are a little, those will come as things happen because it's all wrapped up in divorce court right now. That's where I'm going to leave that. But on my Whiskey University, my women's group, I typically would do this on a Facebook Live every Friday. And because I'm on the road and because tech and keeping up with stuff like that is kind of a challenge, kind of like no green screen behind me, so my hat keeps disappearing, I'm having to work through and figure out how to get all this stuff done and make things happen, right? And that is cool. So what I do on the Whiskey University page and what's going to be happening on YouTube now too is every Friday I will upload this video to both platforms. So it's being used in I'm making things work double duty for me, right? So every week there's a theme. And then if you join into my women's group at Whiskey University on Facebook, there's actually activities and other things to do every day of the week. On YouTube, it's just open for discussion underneath in the comments. So there's different ways to contact me and different ways I'm going to do this. And it's going to be fluid and it's going to change and things are going to happen as time goes on, right? Life is all about flow and energy and learning to pivot. So the theme for this week is taking charge of your life. And there's some very important questions to ask yourself to start this out of how to take better charge of your life and how to get balls rolling. Like me, myself, I packed my Harley and went nomad. So this picture actually right here is when I crossed into Arizona. I took this picture actually standing in the middle of Highway 60. There was no traffic. You know, my mom made jokes about go play in traffic. Ha ha ha. Now I actually do that, but I waited until there was no cars. So taking charge of your life. Literally, what do you want? What do you want out of your life? Have you really sat down and looked and analyzed at what you're doing in your life? And is it what you've always wanted to do? For myself, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a journalist and a photographer. And here I am on YouTube and on Facebook, also at Bugs and a Lip Gloss, journaling my travels on the bike and doing what it is that I do. I'm kind of, everything's one big connected mix of nomad and ministry with women from domestic abuse and men. I'm not ruling out the men, but the support group is only for women, and doing all these things and kind of working it all together in some crazy kind of alchemy to make it work. So what do you want out of your life? What do you want? What is your purpose? What is your goal? And what are you willing to do to get there? I literally turned my life upside down, dumped that bag called life out, and had to, and I'm still doing it, I'm in process, filter through and figure out what it is I want to keep in my life. What do I need to get rid of? What is good for me? What is not good for me? What is true to who is authentically me? And I'm just going from there, right? It's been a great adventure. Bugs and a Lip Gloss on Facebook gives you posts all the time. And Tom Bailu, I don't know if you've seen him on Facebook, but he's a really good public speaker. And he points out that humans are adaptation machines, right? We are different than everybody else or everything else in the animal kingdom because of our ability to adapt and change scenarios. We could be up in Alaska in igloos and we could be down in a jungle in Africa, right? We're still the same human body. It just changes based on our environment and what stressors that we have to adapt to survive. And that goes for home. This hat's driving me crazy. We're gonna have changes on some other video. That goes for home environments. That goes for your physical environment. Are you outside? Or do you stay in a hut? Do you live in a house? All those things, right? We adapt. And like he said, with bodybuilding, the way that you bodybuild and the way you strengthen these different muscles that you're doing is by stressing them. You don't bodybuild and you don't change and you don't grow in your life without some kind of stressor. The best way to do that, excuse me, is with controlled stress. When you put the stress on yourself to continually change and pivot and do the things, and you take charge in your life and you control the stress that's happening. And the way you do that again is, what is your goal? What do you want out of life and why? What is your purpose? What is your reasoning behind doing what it is that you want to do to get where you want to be? And that whole pivot thing is learning that maybe where you started is not where you want to end up. Right. So it's just that constant reassessing and going through those stresses and going through those pressures. And it's a wild ride, y'all. It doesn't stop. It doesn't change. And you just keep growing and building and figuring out what it is that you want to do. And there's a few things to do with that. One is just take ownership in your own bullshit, right? Take ownership in it. Take accountability for, if you're in a domestic situation, take accountability for what parts you're enabling to happen. Take accountability for those things that, if you're in a situation where somebody's going to constantly be mad at you or somebody's trying to trigger you, then you have to make a choice up front whether you're going to play that game, whether you're going to engage, whether you're going to react, or whether you're just going to observe and take ownership in the parts of that relationship or the fact that you're even in it still, and what that what effect you have on the situation itself. It's not, even if somebody's abusing you, I promise you, there's not that what they're doing is right, because it's not. But I promise you, you're playing a part in that is continuing to feed the beast, right? And you have to figure out which part in that and why you're allowing that part to happen in your life. You have to figure out what role you're playing in that game. Okay. The next one is setting those goals. What do you want to do? And what's your big overall goal? And what it is that you need to do in those micro goals to get to that big one, right? In my own case, I've started this ministry. I'm on the road. I'm nomading on a motorcycle. I meet women and men everywhere I go that we discuss, what situations they're in their life. Is there a trauma that they're trying to heal from? Is it an abusive situation they're trying to get out of, or one that they're already out of and they're trying to change their life so they break that cycle? I run into people on the road everywhere, and it's what I'm called to do, right? So when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, basically God is bringing these people in front of me, and that's what we're doing. And the more I help them and guide them, I'm not doing it for them. The more I guide them and plant those seeds and help them in their journey to get what's next, the more it helps me heal and it helps me on my own journey. It's reciprocal, and it's reciprocal and circular. It keeps coming back full circle, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is developing your mindset. Like when I got on his Harley and I left, half of the camp thinks I'm crazy, and the other half of the camp is like, hell yeah, girl, you keep going, So, but it doesn't really matter overall what other people think about what's going on. It's my mindset and what I do and how I function on the road, and how I function cowboy camping outside, and how I function pushing into hippie camps. There's so many stories about all the things that, the adventures that have come my way, and how I approach them, and how I work through the things that it brings up in me, right? Because that mindset, I am not in a victimhood mindset, nor will I ever be, because I've already made up my mind about that, right? The next one is prioritizing self-care. Take a day and go on a road trip, or 2 days, and get off by yourself. Go figure out what it is that you need to do a reset every once in a while, to decompress and get away and start refresh, right? Refresh all our technology. We can unplug it, plug it back in, update it, refresh it. We do this with all of our technology, and it's standard maintenance. So many of us don't do it for ourselves. And even for myself on the road, this hat thing, we're going to fix this later. So many of us, even for myself on the road, I have to stop. I have to take a day every once in a while, get away from everybody, and just let it all sink in. Figure out, unpack my bags. What don't I need anymore? What do I need to add? When I pack the bike different ways. And it's just that reset of what you need to do to get yourself to the next step and the next level. If you're getting ready to stress yourself more for that next adaptation and that next growth process, what is it that you need to do to reset and pull back and figure out what's next in your life and in your journey, right? And then the last one is lifelong learning. I'm a retired school teacher, and I will never stop learning. I'll never stop learning the technical stuff to help me be a better coach for other people. I'll never stop learning, marketing and sales. How can I keep myself on the road and use the technology on the road? And how do I make the road technology work for me? Right? Because I can't just walk around with a backdrop and a green screen. So those different things that I have to continually learn and figure out what it is that's going to best serve me. Marketing and sales. I have a fundraiser that I've started to help me raise funds to keep me on the road so that I keep doing the ministry that I'm doing, so that I can continue to keep the women's group and this ministry that I'm doing free for other people. I don't charge anybody. I do it all for free. And because I'm on the motorcycle, it's really minimal for me of what my actual needs are, but there are some upgrades that I need to do, right? I am working towards getting better technology that's going to work better on the bike for me. Better things like other cameras. I don't have a GoPro or anything. So the social media presence at right now is a bit limited, because there are things that I need to upgrade and need to work towards that are going to step up my game as far as the tech goes. I'm learning to work into meeting other people and starting a podcast on this channel, on my YouTube channel, and then it'll be posted in my women's group also. I'm getting ready to start recording next week with other women and their healing stories and their journeys, and women that I've taught through a few things. And they've also, I just put the things out there and they do all their own work, and they're volunteering to share their stories because they have a voice now. They're opening up and they're willing to share with other women and other people so that we can get the voice out to stop all the craziness that's going on in this world. And so it can help give other individuals hope, right? They're not alone. And this is my personal thought. So many of us get through these crazy, ridiculous situations in our life and traumas in childhood. And, people want to call it a generational curse or whatever it is. And once we get through those things and we start to heal in our journey, we don't want to look back and we don't want to open up about it, because that shit hurts, right? But because we don't, we're not really helping to be a catalyst and a voice for those who are still in it, who want to build themselves up and want to get out of it desperately, and they just don't know where to go and what to do. And so this entire thing, my motorcycle nomading and my travels and my ministry and my support group, all those things are all connected. They're all intertwined. And, the fundraisers to help me continue to build this voice and this channel and the Facebook social media and the organic connections that I'm able to make with other people out in the world while I'm doing this. And just, it's my calling, y'all. I, honest to God, can't see myself doing anything else, because it's such a strong drive to keep going and keep producing, excuse me, and keep helping and just doing what it is that I'm doing. So I will put the links to the women's group, and this is going on my Facebook, or on my Facebook women's group, and this is getting connected in my YouTube, and I'll put the fundraiser, the link in the comments of the YouTube video, so that if you feel compelled to help keep me on the road, $25 is a full tank of gas. A hotel, if I can't camp, or if the weather doesn't work, or if I'm somewhere in the middle of, coming out of BFE, because there's some places you're not going to get a hotel. I use hotels if I have to as a last resort. Otherwise, I don't use them. Food is a thing. Still got to eat. What else is there? I use Bunkabiker, which is a network that doesn't cost between bikers on the road and stuff like that. But, you can gift your hosts, and you can tip them for letting you do your laundry while you're there, and just different things like that. There are so many incidentals. I don't have any heated gear. I've been in very cold conditions a few times now where that heated gear would have been fabulous, you know. So, and then there's so many other things that are building up and going on in the future, and I will keep coming back to that. But I am literally taking charge of my life. I am, for the first time in my life, taking care of me and being an example out loud, very loud on a Harley, right? And just showing other people. I mean, you don't have to go out on the world and be on a Harley and do the extreme level that I'm doing, I guess is what it is. But there are different ways that you can take charge in your life and start making changes and start making choices. And sometimes you just have fun doing it. So I love y'all. I will talk to you next week, and keep on rocking.